Going to be people that tell you that you don't belong, and I am here
You
to
don't.
tell you over and over and over that you absolutely belong.
You belong. Maybe. Her, the ghetto queen of Congress, Jasmine Crockett, does not belong in the halls of Congress. I said it. I said it. Call me what you want, but what you can't call me is a damn fool. Okay? The ghetto queen of Congress has an inability to think, at least logically, rationally, outside of the ghetto construct. I think she is a psyop. I do. I don't think everything is a psyop, but I think she specifically is. Because she wears this character, this caricature of what black women are, right? I'm a strong, black, sassy, attitude having, neck poppingness, eye rollingness ass black woman. She is what Kamala was trying to cosplay as at certain points in her campaign, right? She couldn't go full blown because she still had to pander to different audiences, but you know, sometimes she tell you about the collard greens that she's washing in a tub and all sorts of foolishness. But Jasmine Crockett, no, let me just let her go so y'all can see for yourselves. Let me just let this play out.
People that are going to tell you that there is not a table in which there is a seat for you, but I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you that we know how to use a chair.
I can't make this shit up, folks. She just drew an analogy of the first black kids to go to to go into a white school, integrating that school. And she flipped that into, we know how to use chairs. Now, I don't know if some of y'all caught that remark, but it is alluding to an incident that happened, it's maybe a few years ago at this point, where there was a quote unquote mini racial war, black men and white men, and let's just say chairs were used in the making of that production. Jasmine Crockett is being used as an antagonizer. She's a nagger. I didn't say what you thought. She's a nagger. You understand me? She's like a gnat. She's a perpetual bear poker. There's no brains up there. They're not operating. Whoever put her in this position knew exactly what them were doing.
Whether we pulling it up or we doing something else with it.
The brother in the back is just disgraced. I don't know if y'all see that brother right there. He's an old school brother. You could tell by the way his mustache is shaped. Look at this man right here. Look. Do y'all see that? He is disgraced. He said, I marched with Dr. King. I marched with Dr. King. For this foolishness? He's tired.
We're
tired.
The first one to tell you that I know that y'all are ready to put your boots on the ground. That's your cue. There we go.
And they're going to throw in that little ghetto music. And then, yup, okay. Oh, what is that? Look at this right here. She's pandering. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. We the most educated girl. Yes, girl. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. No, we don't need more of that. We need more Condoleezza Rices. That's what we need. We need more sophisticated examples of black women. If you're going to be the only black woman, well, not the only, but if you're going to be the most popular, most promoted black woman in Congress, why does it have to be the most ghettoest, ratchetest? Because that's what they believe that black folk are. And unfortunately, if you just look at the way that things are shaping out to be, this seems to be the case in a lot of cases. And we're tired. You know, they think that white folk got fatigued. We're fatigued. Black folk who are not like this, we're fatigued. We're tired of the Jasmine croquets. Always this, 400 years, America, oppression, racism. Meanwhile, you, as the ghettoest member of Congress, even though I'm not saying that she was actually born this, she puts on the skin of the ghetto queen, right? She puts on the character, because this is Jasmine Crockett, who was raised in a good home, who went to one of the best Catholic schools or girls' Catholic schools in the country. That's Jasmine Crockett. That's Jasmine. Jazzy, the ghetto croquet, that's a character that is being used. That's why I continue to return back to her, because I realize what she is. Once I clock exactly who and what you are and what your likely purpose is, I'm going in. I'm going to tell the whole truth and none but the truth, so help me God. I know she's got super fans out there. Lord knows she does. Look at all these girls. Lord, yes, Lord. And the brothers in the background are just like, oh, Lord. Look, there was no response with these men. They said, what in the hell is going on? We had Coretta. What happened to the Coretta? What happened to the Coretta Scotts of the world? Miss King. What happened? What happened to sophistication? What happened to being okay with being a lady? Just like men, what happened to being okay with being a man? You got to be a character. We can do better for ourselves, and we got to. So part of that is being non-responsive to these sorts of psychological operations. And non-responsive, I don't mean literally. We ignore it in part, but we also call it out for exactly what it is. But we can't fall for it, is essentially what I'm getting to. You can't fall into this. There's a lot of folks who fell into the Skamala scam because of the racial identity addiction, in essence. Or as Jason Whitlock says, it is a religious thing to them, right? They are religious about their racial identity. It comes before everything else, before humanity, before dignity, before goodness of character or morality or any of those things. Before God comes race. Before God is blackness. And that's what this is. That's who Jasmine Crockett is talking about. She's going to knock somebody over. Yeah, we know what to do with them chairs. She's basically pushing the same idea of we're violent, right? And if you look statistically, she's not lying. These are just the stats. I think some folks still need to get hip to the per capita thing. Well, white folks are doing most of it. Look, white folks, any type of folks can cause havoc and are. But disproportionately, there's one demographic who is continuing to allow and egg this behavior on. And we allow these type of buffoons to continue to show their ass. And we just go along with it. They show up to your rallies. They twerk in your face and say, this is you, vote for me. Hot sauce in my bag, Hillary Clinton. If you vote for Trump, you're not black, Joe Biden. The Democratic Party has been dead. And, I think the only ones who haven't figured it out are them. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there. Or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.